Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Weather with Sim again. I hope you guys are all having a great Thursday so far, and as well as a great start to your day. And today is February 13th, 2025, and in today's forecast, we are going to be talking about some more major storms that are going to be coming to the United States as we get into the next few weeks, which one of them is going to be occurring this weekend, which will likely be bringing the potential for not only widespread flash flooding, but we could also be seeing the potential for another big time tornado outbreak down there in the deep south, as more strong tornadoes do appear to be possible for your Saturday, and we might even be tracking another winter storm even as we get into next week. So we still have a lot of things to talk about as we still have more systems still to come, despite the one this weekend. But before we get into today's forecast, make sure to subscribe to the channel, especially because we are only 800 subscribers away from reaching 2,000 subscribers, and if we can reach that before spring, not only would that make me really happy, but we could also be doing some more upgrades on this channel. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, as that would be much appreciated. Make sure to also give this video a thumbs up, and also share this with any friends, family, or anyone who you know on social media. I definitely appreciate it. But let's first start off by taking a look at the future radar on the European model, and you guys can see how we are still dealing with some heavy snowfall across the Great Lakes region, and as well as parts there of the Midwest. After that system heads out, the bigger system will be this weekend, as not only will we be tracking the potential for severe weather and heavy rainfall anywhere from Louisiana all the way up there into the Ohio Valley, but we'll also be tracking even a little bit of snowfall on the northern and back side of that system, which could possibly bring some accumulation. So we will need to be watching that system very closely, as we already have flood watches in place for it, especially across Kentucky, extreme southern Indiana, pretty good portion there of southern Ohio into West Virginia, central and western Tennessee, pretty good portion there of eastern Arkansas, northern Mississippi, and as well as northern Georgia. So we will need to be watching these areas very closely over the next couple of days, but especially on Saturday, where we will likely be seeing flash flooding ongoing. So something to really keep an eye on closely. We even got some winter storm warnings also in effect for the higher elevations out there to the west, and once again, we even still got that atmospheric river event ongoing out there to the west, also bringing some major flooding issues as well. So we will need to keep an eye on it very closely over the next couple of days, like I said, especially this weekend, where we will likely be seeing a lot of snow and a lot of severe weather and flooding issues across the United States. So definitely something to keep an eye on, as this is definitely not looking good for a lot of you guys. And not only will we be seeing flooding this weekend, but we will also have a shot of seeing a tornado outbreak once again, as we do have an enhanced risk for severe weather down there in the deep south, especially across northern and central Louisiana, pretty good portion there of southeastern Arkansas, into central Mississippi, into pretty good portion there of western Alabama as well, including the Tuscaloosa area. So we will need to be watching this area very closely as we get into our Saturday, as I do think this area could even be upgraded to a moderate risk. I don't think chances are high, but I do think we could have a moderate risk somewhere in this area, and I think if one were to get issued, it would probably be shaped up kind of like that. So we will need to be watching that during the next Storm Prediction Center update, which I think will be in about a few hours. And if it does get upgraded to a moderate risk, and even if it doesn't, we will still go live for this. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on all notifications, so that way you guys don't miss out on a possible live stream as we get into Saturday, as we probably got about a 100% chance of going live for this, given the fact that a tornado outbreak can be expected. And not only will we be seeing the potential for heavy rain and severe weather this weekend, but we will also likely be seeing a lot lot of flooding issues as well. If we look at your total rainfall for the next 7 days, especially on Saturday, you guys can see how areas in Arkansas, especially around the Little Rock area, back up there towards Jonesboro, likely to pick up 2 to 3 inches. Areas over here in much of Kentucky, northern and western Tennessee, pretty good portion there of southern Indiana, southern Ohio, and as well as West Virginia, we'll likely see anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of rainfall, with maybe some areas like Murray and Kentucky maybe getting up there towards 5 inches of rain. So definitely enough to where we are going to be very concerned about the flooding, which is true, because not only are we going to be dealing with that flooding out there in the west, but we also will be dealing with some flooding issues across much of those areas, including the entire state of Kentucky and Tennessee, where we do have a pretty big moderate risk for flash flooding in effect as we get into the weekend. So if you do have any plans on Saturday, which will be in a few days from now, make sure you guys are getting ready for this, as you guys should not be risking driving through flooded roadways, first of all, but you guys should also have your tornado action plan in place just in case if you do live down there in the deep south. But I think flooding is going to be the biggest concern overall, as it's the most widespread area, and it also includes areas from Shreveport all the way up there towards Pittsburgh, including the Nashville region. So this is definitely a sign that some pretty big flooding issues will be likely this weekend. So like I said, if you encounter a flooded roadway, not worth driving through it, as we are likely going to be seeing some pretty big rainfall totals around. And of course, have your tornado action plan in place just in case, once again, especially if you live down there in the deep south. Now let's go back to what we were talking about before, because not only will we be tracking all that as we get into the weekend, but if we take a look at this next system, look at this, guys. Another major winter storm could develop as we get into Thursday of next week, especially around the February 20th time frame, with a lot of freezing rain even ongoing down there in Mississippi. That would definitely be a possibility, so we'll have to watch that. And a lot of that heavy snowfall is going to continue up the East Coast, maybe bringing a nor'easter. We'll have to see how this low plays out, but we do have a risk of seeing a nor'easter, including the New York City region could even experience one, so we will keep an eye on that, and maybe even another winter storm after that one. But I think the next one that we're really going to be watching for will be the one on Thursday of next week, where we could be seeing the potential for a pretty big winter storm around. And this is already looking very concerning, guys, especially if we look at our total snowfall. You guys can see how if we look at the total snowfall, look at this, over a foot with that system. Because like I said, that's going to occur on Thursday, February 20th. If we go back a few, you guys can see that the higher elevations out there in the west and even the Great Lakes regions and northeast will likely be dealing with snowfall. But if we take this forward all the way to Thursday of next week, boom, we see a lot of that pink start showing right back up again and attain chances for around a foot of snowfall across much of Indiana, much of Illinois, and to pretty good portion there of Ohio, a lot of Kentucky, even West Virginia, Pennsylvania, even Northern Virginia. So all those areas will definitely need to be paying attention to this next system, as not only could it bring chances for around a foot of snow, but we could also be seeing some sleet. You guys can see that even areas down there in Texas could be experiencing some sleet with this winter storm as well, and same with freezing rain. Freezing rain could also be a huge problem with this next winter storm, especially down there in Texas, as some areas may see anywhere from a quarter to a half an inch of freezing rainfall, guys. You guys down there in Texas also need to be paying attention to this too. So if you guys got any plans next week, maybe plan a little bit ahead of schedule, as I do think confidence about this winter storm is starting to go up. So now would be a good time to be paying attention, like I said, as I do think this winter storm is really going to cause some huge impacts. Not looking good, like I said, as we get into the middle of next week. So make sure to be on high alert out there especially before we get into Thursday, which things can still change and shift around a little bit. But like I said, confidence is definitely growing on it, so we will need to be watching it very closely. And then the last thing we're going to look at is going to be your total rainfall. You guys can see from now all the way to Thursday of next week. Some of this is considered snowfall, especially when we just looked at it, but it's especially going to be areas south of Indianapolis that are likely going to be picking up quite a bit of rainfall this weekend. In areas like Kentucky and Tennessee, you guys are likely to see anywhere from 2 to 5 inches of rainfall across much of Tennessee and Kentucky. Same with Arkansas. Some areas in Arkansas may pick up as much as 4 to 6 inches of rainfall in some of those areas. Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, you guys are likely to see anywhere from 3 to 5 inches of rainfall, so we will keep an eye on that. Even areas up here in the mid-Atlantic, probably not going to see a ton of rainfall compared to these areas farther down to the south, but you guys are likely to pick up some pretty good amounts of 2 to 3 inches, so we will be watching that closely, especially as we head into next week and even this weekend, where we will likely be seeing some flooding issues. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's weather forecast. If you guys would like me to get up towards 2,000 subscribers, make sure to subscribe right now, as we will try to reach 2,000 subscribers before spring. And once again, not only would it make me really happy if we could get there, but we would also try to do more upgrades on this channel like what we have been doing. So make sure to subscribe to the channel so that way we can get up there. And of course, I really do appreciate you guys supporting my channel a lot. And I hope you guys all have a great rest of your Thursday out there. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Thank you all so much for watching, and goodbye.